So, um, good evening, good evening. Glad y'all could join me. So I decided tonight, well, first of all, let me start off how I always start. Are there any questions or anything that you were going over during the week, that you needed some clarity on? So is there anything you want me to go over before? Because I found a little like well, had it before, but a little practice test. I want to go over some like nice GED practice questions. But before I do that, does anybody have anything they've been working on that they need some assistance in?
So
Any
basically,
questions?
so
Go
so
ahead.
ba- so I know I ain't at the crib just yet, but
Hmm.
man, I've been peeping them questions, and mind you, I'm in Alabama. I'm on Central Time, and so I've been like literally like missing the past two GD Math Mondays. But
Okay.
it's questions on the little practice part, on the practice quiz part on CK12 when it came to like say for example, it's like find the area of a square, right? And
Hmm.
but like it will only but the square it'll give me the area. No, it'll give me the perimeter of
Hmm.
of the square, but
Hmm.
then it'll be like find the area. And so it's like
Okay.
on the
Okay.
sides, you know how it have like those little arrows, like because I'm thinking like on the bottom of the rectangle is the width, right?
Hmm.
And the side of the rectangle is the length, right?
Hmm.
And so the upper part of the rectangle is also the width, right?
Uh-huh.
Mr. Tenzi, as I was plugging in when I had to, because I know I had to go backwards, I had to, in order for me to find the area of the rectangle or the perimeter of the rectangle, I would first have to use what's the area, what's the formula for area for a rectangle, correct?
No, so if they're giving you the perimeter, right, and they
Yeah,
want to find the area, first of all, it's two things you had to remember. They told you it's a square.
right.
They told you it's a square, that means all sides are equal. So if they give you the perimeter, in order to find each side, you're going to take that 32. Like in this example, I'm just making this up. Say the perimeter is 32 feet. Well, since I know it's a square and all sides are equal, I can divide by 4.
Right. So that's what I got caught up in because it was one time where I remember one time, there was like you to add all sides. It's one I think it's I forget the exact
Right.
uh
Perimeter, you do add the sides, but you're
right.
100% right. But that's for a rectangle. A square is a rectangle, but the thing that makes a square, what's special about a square, is that all sides are equal. So because of that, you can divide by 4 because all the sides are equal. So for example, say for example, this perimeter was 32 feet. When I divide by 4, that tells me each side is 8 feet. Well,
Right.
once I know each side is 8 foot, to find the area of a square, it's the side squared. So I just take 8 squared, and that's 64 square feet.
Oh, it's
Remember,
such a tricky situation
so you
because man,
always got to identify what's given first.
right. But Mr. Tenzi, it's been times when like I'm like, okay, I'm supposed to I'm supposed to add I'm supposed to add like, all of the sides or whatever. But it's been also been times where I'm like, okay, I'm adding these sides. We're not basically technically adding the size up, but it's just like like say for example, it'll be a 10, but the 10 it's like the 10 is on the length side of the situation.
Okay,
Feel me? It's like,
that's no problem. That's so let me give you an example. So say for
but
example,
wait, but Mr. Tenzi, like they were called the length, the width though, and it's like I remember even went to like
well,
the little the
again, so don't let that confuse you. Let me see if you can see me. I have a three
I
by
can see
five
you.
card. Can you see my 3x5 card?
Yep.
So it's 3x5. So it's 3x5, correct? My
Right.
so this way, my width is 3, my length is 5. How long it is, right? If I
Right.
turn it, it's still 3x5, but my 5 is now my width, but my 3 is my length. So don't let that
Oh
confuse you.
my
It don't really
God.
matter what you
I would
call length
not
and
have
width.
known that.
Got me?
I, I wouldn't have known that. I wouldn't have known that because they switching up. They switching up the size, so it's like
That's
I
that's what
should have.
they do. That so what happens is you'll see a problem and the
Ooh.
long side is the length, and then you look at the next problem and the long side is the width, and you're like, huh? Like what?
Man,
Exactly.
Mr.
I've had a
Tenzi,
lot of
bro.
students. Yep.
Mr. Tenzi, I was literally like, because I've been doing that, like, because I was like, I don't want to. I'm like, man, I can't keep annoying and calling my my darn teacher. Please forgive me for that, YouTube. But keep calling my teacher, and I need to just start figuring it out and using my brain, using my mind to like come up with these answers. Because it's like I didn't want to sit back like and be working on the same the
Listen,
same
no,
like
no, listen.
the
What I
same
don't,
lesson for more
what
than 2 weeks, Mr. Tenzi.
That's
You
what I'm
feel me?
saying. I don't want you to do that. So you do gotta bother me. Because I don't want you studying the same lesson for 2 weeks. So that's when you're supposed to
Man.
text me. You're supposed to email me. You're supposed to call me and say, I'm stuck on this problem. I need help.
Right.
So then I can get it straight there you so you won't be working on it for 2 weeks.
Man, Tenzi, man, like, cause I don't like going and getting too much excess outside information about how to get this thing in a span of 3 weeks. You feel what I'm saying? But if it's the same type of way, so it's like, why not just look at every section, every module, and spend the entire day on that module?
You
But
can do
I
that
would
too.
get,
Yep.
but I would get somewhat not even intimidated or just frustrated with the fact that like I'm like, bro, we on the same module again because it's
But
like
but exact
I
that's what
get
I
mad
want.
if I even wake up late in the day because like my
No,
whole day is on this.
no, listen. What I don't want you to do. You don't have to get frustrated now. The whole purpose of the course, even if you get stuck, is to say, I'm stuck here. Okay, when
Right.
class come Monday, I'm gonna make sure I'm not stuck because I'm gonna ask them. So now if it's early, if it's a Tuesday, Wednesday, after GED Math Monday, then you shoot me a text, you shoot me an email.
So
I help you through it. Don't waste that time. Don't get frustrated. Why? Because this is the time you're learning. When you
true,
get
true.
the frustration come if you fail your test. I said I don't want. So I'd rather you get that out now. But let me give this
Well,
example real quick.
let's do
Say
it.
the perimeter is 32 feet. And now I'm going to call this the length because length is how long something is. So up and down, I call length. This way is width. But again, the example I was showing you, if I turn it, it switches. So it doesn't really matter. So my 10 feet is my length. I don't know my width, but what I do know is my perimeter is 32 feet. So I want to know the width and I want to find the area. That's the two things I want to find. So again, start with what you know. I know my perimeter is 32 feet. I know my length is 10 feet. I know my formula to find a perimeter. So that's what I'm gonna start with. 2L
Right.
plus
Always
2W.
start with the formula first. But I mean, I have
And
to like
start
really
with what you know. So now watch.
myself to do that.
32 is equal to 2 times 10 plus 2W. 32 equal 20 plus 2W. This now becomes a two-step algebraic equation. Subtract 20 from both sides. You get 12 is equal to 2W. I'm running out of room. I'm going to continue over here. 12 is equal to 2W. Divide both sides by 2. You get W equals 6. So now I
Okay.
know my width is 6 feet. I now got to find the area. Start with your formula. Area equal length times width. I know my length is 10. I know my width is 6. So my area is 60 square feet or 60 feet square, whatever you want to put it. So that's what I mean by getting a habit, identifying what's given, but also what you know, because they gave me the perimeter. So what I have to know is that I got to get that formula from my formula sheet to find the formula to find the perimeter. So I got to get this formula here and then I can solve for my W.
Right, right, right. It was
Got
like,
me?
yeah, because I've been right now. I'm on the section of is identifying unknown dimensions of of a triangle, of a square,
Mm-hmm.
etc. And
It's a it's
man,
an,
Tenzi, I ain't trying to be on these modules for like
so
for no
the
whole week.
ones
I'm
you
trying to
have
get
to worry
these.
about the most are rectangle. So a lot of times what they'll do is the unknown dimensions. So you might have to do a rectangle, right? They might
Mhm.
give you area. They might give you the area or perimeter, and then one of them, the length or width. A
Right.
circle, where they might give you area or circumference, and you got to solve R or D. They might give you a cylinder, where you have to solve for the radius or diameter.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so those exercises. So let's do you have do you have one in mind or do you want me to go get one?
Okay, I'm going to grab one right now while I'm getting coming back in the crib. But I got a
Grab
whole list. Like
grab
man,
one
I
right
even like
now.
bulleted it. Like this is
And and that's what I want. That this is the purpose of this class. So when you get stuck on a problem, you don't understand something. It's to say, you know what, I don't want to waste 2 weeks trying to learn this. Let me see if I can get Mr. Tinsley to help me so I can have a better understanding. That's the whole purpose of this class.
Right. Because
Okay.
man, Mr. Tony, because I would literally go back and go to all of those. Let's get to the problem. I don't want to be, you know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Go ahead. What's the problem?
The problem. Hold on, one second. Hold on, let me. I think I got a screenshot. I did take a picture of it. Hold on. Let's go. Hold on.
If you got a
I'm
screenshot,
gonna
you can send it to me.
I'm gonna hand out a I'm gonna hand out. The U.S. I'm about to send you a screenshot. Get this. This is not opposite one, but this is one of the ones that was really giving me like just bothering me. But when
You
I
gonna send
get
me the
in the
screenshot? Or you
house,
gonna read me the question?
I'm gonna send you the screenshot right now. I'm gonna
Send me the
send you boom,
screenshot right now.
boom. All right, sent to you.
You send it to my email or my phone.
Your phone.
Okay. Let me see. Here we go, right there. Let me see. Which one? It says
The one in the red.
it says a U.S. gallon. Hold on. 1 U.S. gallon is the same as I can't see that number. Hold on. 1 gallon. Oops, not put it in red. I guess I could put it in red. 1 gallon. Matter of fact, let me see. Matter of fact, I should be able to see it right from my email. Let me see. Show me there.
Yeah, hold on, I'm about to run upstairs. I'm about to get it right now. I got some. Cause man, I ain't trying to
But
stay on this for no
I'm
whole.
hoping I'm hoping I can zoom in on it. Let's see if
So,
I can zoom in on it.
you know what? How about when I go
Let
to
me see.
computer? I mean, boom. What was the extra credit one? What was one of the ones area trapezoid? Let me look at the ones where I got like a real. Let me look at my view reports real fast and see. Cause I'm just right now. I'm just
You got
randomly
you got
just
a you got
shooting.
an Apple phone?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
Because
because
you probably what you're saying is like all of those waves from like I guess it's from me taking a picture of it, taking a
no,
screenshot
yeah,
on the
it is,
computer.
but the problem is it's also giving me no file extension. So it's just
Uh,
let me see if I can change it. I'm gonna put it as a JPEG and see if that changes it up.
cause yeah, I'm up here. Let me check my view report on perimeter. Because I went back, took a practice test, even went back to the older practice test of what we did like 2 years ago, and which is a shame. But like I had to go back and just like depict and get all of that out. And so I'm just looking at all my view reports because some of these questions just this didn't. I'm like, how is that even possible, bro? Like, how are you even doing this? Like, how?
Let me see if I can get it on screen. Let me see. Let me see.
Flex books, flex books.
Okay, here we go. Let me see if I can move this down.
Yeah, is it? View
Okay.
report on
One
dimension.
gallon is the same as 3.78541 metric liters.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew's gas tank holds 45 liters of gas. How many
Mm-hmm.
gallons is that? Okay. So I'm going to show you how to do this problem. So this is really not an area problem. This
It's a
is so
ratios and proportions problem.
so this is either called unit rate or a proportion problem.
Right.
Okay. So first of all, when you read it, so when you see this, you have to be able to identify what's given. So again, remember that steps. Identify what's given. One
Right.
U.S. gallon is 3.78541 liters. So let me write that down. So one
Right.
gallon is the same as 3.78 liters. Well,
Right.
I'm gonna put all of it, right? That's the ratio you know. So remember, what's the steps of solving a proportion? Write the ratio you know, have your equal sign because a proportion is two ratios set equal to each other. And then they give
Right.
you 4 liters of gas. Well, the gas goes with the 3.78, so that means that must be on the bottom
Right.
because on the opposite side of that equal, you need the same thing, right? Because
Right.
remember, this is liters of gas in gallons. So this is liters of gas equal how many gallons? So what we're going to do is, again, we need to cross multiply because there's nothing. See, when This is the problem. When you're giving those decimals, people don't know what to do.
Yeah,
So
and then when
remember
it
the
comes to like even when it come down to rounding, I'm like, all right.
no, even before rounding. Remember, it's three ways you can solve a proportion. You can solve a proportion by equivalent fractions. You can solve a proportion using unit rate
And cross multiplying.
and cross multiplying. Those are the three ways that I recommend knowing for the GED. So you can't use equivalent fractions because there's no number you can multiply 3.78 by to get 45 in mental math. I mean, of
Yeah.
course you can. There's no number. So you know what? I can't do equivalent fractions. So that's off the list. Unit rate. Oh, well, I already know how much 1 gallon is. 1 gallon is 3.7 liters. But the problem is the unit rate is not the in the way we need it. So that means
Right.
I
It's
need to set up a
backwards.
proportion. So that's okay. That's okay. Because now the third way is cross multiply. So 3.76, 3.78541x equal 45 because 1 times 45 is 45. Again, this now becomes a one-step algebraic equation. In order to get x by itself, I need to divide by 3.78541. So I want you to grab your calculator and divide 45 divided by 3.78541.
You're missing an
Grab
8, I think, Mr. Tinsley.
3.78541.
3.785. It's 11.8887474796.
So 11.888, whatever you said, right? But it's
Seven
set
seven.
well, it don't matter. So that's fine because remember, round to the tenths. My tenth place is my first 8. I look at the number to the right. That's 5 or above. That 8 becomes a what?
And
That's why it's 11.9. Don't wait 2 weeks. Don't try to. If you can't figure it out in a couple, don't. If you working on something and it's giving you trouble for like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, pause. So two things you can do. You can either go say, okay, I don't know
Go
how
to
to
the
do
next.
this.
Go to the next subject, or
Go to no. You say, hold on. Let me go to CK12 or Khan Academy. Let me watch a lesson. Let me go to Mr. Ten's YouTube channel. Let me go look up proportions. Or you're gonna say, you know what? Let me send Mr. Tinsley a text. I'm gonna call him, and you know what? I'm gonna put this on hold to tomorrow. So, but guess what? I don't want to waste my time because I got an hour left to study. I don't understand
what?
this right now. So either I'm gonna try to figure it out for tonight, or you know what? Let me do something else related to this or something else. Let me make sure I know how to do that concept. But definitely don't waste a week on something. Definitely not.
Okay.
So that's how
Uh,
you would do that problem.
man, I got another one. I got
Did you
another
send it
one.
to me
This
in the
is,
email?
I'm gonna read it to you.
Okay, hold on. Let me clear this out. All right. Go ahead.
So the perimeter of the rectangle below is 54 meters. What is its area? Now,
Listen, this
in the
is a GED question. Hold on. Is everybody listening to me right now? What he's reading right now is a GED question. You said 54 what?
54 meters, what is its area? This is what I was mentioning in the car because it's like in the example that they give
a
or
rectangle.
that they give you in the on when you
Did they
take
give
the
you a picture?
quiz.
Did they give you a
Yeah,
picture?
it
Okay,
gave me a
what is
picture of a
what is
rectangle.
what is the picture of the rectangle? What did they get? What are they giving you?
So on the right side of the rectangle,
Mm-hmm.
it's a line that's kind of drawn up showing the length, and it says 10 meters.
So right
Okay.
there, like that.
Yep, and that's it. And it's
That's
in my
fine.
mind, I'm thinking that's the length, but in the hints in the quiz part, it showed that part as the width, and
It's
I'm
the
like,
It
okay, I
width.
know it. In order for me to,
it don't matter. Listen, well,
that's
listen to what
Mm-hmm.
I
crazy,
tell
bro.
you. Listen to what I'm telling you. So this rectangle is this rectangle with 10. It's just turned. So listen, so this is what I do. This is how I explain length and width. Width is how wide something is. Length is how long it is. So how long it is height. That means vertical. Width is horizontal. What happens is a lot of people get that mistake, but it's no mistake because if here in this example, my 10, according to me, is my length. But if I turn it, my 10 becomes my width. It doesn't matter.
But how will we know that the
You don't
rectangle is being
have
switched?
to know. What you have to know is one is your length, the other one is my width. So if I'm going to call this, let me get my pen. If I'm going to call this my length, right? That means I need to find my width. If I call this my width, that means I need to find my length. It doesn't matter what you call it. Remember, which is you got to remember about algebra. You can use any variable you want. I could call it, for example, right? When we talk about a triangle, we say half base times height, right?
And the triangle is basically,
When we talk about a parallelogram, we talk about
parallelogram.
base times height, right?
Mm-hmm.
So again, we could call this our base, and we can call this our height. We can call this our length. We can call this our width. It doesn't matter. What you have to understand is there are two dimensions. In order to find my perimeter, I need to add all of them up. In order to find my area, I need to multiply both dimensions. This is why all our area is feet squared, because it's two dimensions. This is why our volume is 3 dimensions: length, width, and a height. So let me go through this problem. It's similar to the question I just went over, but let me show you. So we're not going to get confused. We're not going to worry about the length and width and what's called the height. So if they're calling this my length, I need to figure out my height. That's it. Don't matter what you call each one. All I know is they're giving me my length. You go with what they give you. So what I know is if that's my length, I know to find a perimeter is 2L plus 2W. I'm giving my length. So I'm giving my perimeter. So 54 equal 2 times 10 plus 2W. 54 equal 20 plus 2W. Subtract 20 from both sides. I get 34 is equal to 2W. Divide both sides by 2.
By 2.
The 2's cancel. My W equals 17. So now I know my width is 17 meters. So I need to find the area. Well, area equal length times width. I know my length, 10. I know my width, 17. My area is 170 meters squared. That's it. That's how you do that. But don't get confused by that length width stuff. Listen, I have a lot of students, the same thing. It doesn't matter. Watch this. I'm going to turn it now. Matter of fact, let me draw
They
it.
gave me the wrong answer on the. I'm like, man, what?
No, what happens is they didn't give you the wrong answer, but they give you the wrong dimension. But it doesn't matter. They still not wrong because I can call anything my length. I can call anything my width. I can call anything A. I can call anything B. The variable doesn't matter. Just identify what they're giving you. So let's change it up a little bit. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to change it up. I'm going to do the same thing. So now I'm going to call this my width. And this is 10 meters. And my perimeter is 54. Right? Watch this. So perimeter, start with the formula I know. Identify my givens. My 54 is my perimeter. Equal 2L plus 2 times 10. 54 equal 2L plus 20. Subtract 20 from both sides. You get 34 equal 2L. Divide both sides by 2. Cancel the 2's on the right. L equals 17. Okay, this side is 17. Area equal length times width. 10 times 17 is 170 meters squared. Did we get the same exact answer? Don't let that bother you. Don't let that confuse you. All you got to do, if you ever have problems with that, understand this is my length and width here. When I turn it, it's my width and length. It don't matter. Is this still the same 3x5 card?
The same one.
This is still the same area no matter which way I turn it. Doesn't matter. Got
Yeah,
me?
it was, it got you because, all right, because I got some more questions, but I know this practice the practice idea that you had. I definitely want to go over because it's like
All right. So
it's
let me get
definitely
let
gonna
me
bring it's because I can go on all day and it's like, but right now like I'm trying to like be done with the area and perimeter section because I was like, man, Drill, do you just go through every single
so
all of the work?
what I can tell you is you will have probably now I can't guarantee it, but uh over the last since 2014, 2015, which is what 8 years now, you usually have a rectangle area and perimeter. You're going to have a circle where they give you either they're going to give you the area or circumference, and you either got to find a radius or diameter. So those two you can count on. You're going to have a rectangle with either area or perimeter. You're going to have a circle where they either give you the area or they give you the perimeter. Got to be ready for that. Okay, you're going to have it. It's going to be on. So this is a practice test that GED put out. Right. So
Mm-hmm.
what I want to do is just I want to go through the questions, and what we're going to do is I want to time how long it takes each person, and then once I have everybody who answers, then we're going to go over it. Okay. You can use
That's
your
great.
formula sheet. You can use your calculator. Okay. Let me get my clock ready. I just want to see. So a painter rented a wallpaper steamer at 9 a.m. and returned it at 4 p.m. He paid a total of $28.84. What was the rental cost per hour? Start now. I'm down timing. And you can send me the answer in the chat. And you can either put the letter A, B, C, or D, or you can put the actual answer. It doesn't matter how you send it. I got one answer. That was from Sharon, and it took you 1 minute. So that's good. 1 minute. That's a good time. I don't know if it's right or not, but let's see. 2 minutes is now up. Well, just send the answer to me. You just sent it to everybody.
Oh shit. Well, man, dang. I don't. Yeah, I know I got that wrong. I know it's an equivalent rate type of problem. I just don't know how to set it up.
Okay. Okay. 3 minutes are up. So what do you think the answer is? We got one last response of waiting. She's typing it in, I think. Let's see. Let me get my pen. Okay, so we got uh, two answers for C, one answer for A. Okay. So first of all, we got to identify our givens. What are our givens? What do we know?
9 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Okay, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. How many hours is that?
Together,
Mm-hmm.
13.
13. How you get 13?
Oh, I'm adding the hours together.
No, if I got a steamer at 9 a.m. and I returned it at 4 p.m., how many hours is that?
Oh, 7 hours.
7 hours. What you did was you saw those numbers, 9 and 4 is 13. No. How
And
many
freaked out.
hours that I rented for? So he paid a total of 28.84. So my total is 28.84, and I rented for 7 hours. What operation do I need to use?
Division.
Division. 28 divided by 7. 28.84 divided by 7. And again, let's see if I can grab a calculator here. Yep. I'm gonna move this over here. I'm gonna hit ND. Okay, so it's not operational. Okay, so let me get my calculator. I was seeing if they had one. Let me clear everything out. ND 28.84 divided by 7. 412. Answer C. Again, this is an easy problem. You got to make sure you know how to do a problem like this. So the mistake you made is don't just rush in when you're seeing numbers and start doing calculations. Understand what they're asking. So this is important. Rental cost per hour is telling you what to do. Rental
Mm-hmm.
costs is going to be my numerator. Per means division. Number of hours is my denominator.
And, and,
This
and
right
that's
here tells you what to do. Rental
and
cost per
that's what
hour.
man, and that's what I have an issue with identifying the problem.
So that's what you practice.
Identifying the answers in the problem is just like when you be in language arts class, and it's like if you read a word, if you the few sentences behind the word or after the word will kind of give you the definition of that word. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
I just have issues with just
And
peeping it.
that's why that's what the course is for. You take it over and over so then you can identify the types of problems. Okay, let's look at this problem. And again, I'm gonna time you again because in your mind, you should be able to complete each problem. I don't care how hard or difficult that problem is. Your mind should be set on 3 minutes. Mr. Tizzy, where are you getting 3 minutes from? Because there's usually for 120 minutes, which is 2 hours, for 40 questions, that's about 3 minutes on average. Some you're going to spend less, sometimes you're going to spend more. But if you get in the habit of telling your mind, I'm going to spend 3 minutes on this problem, that'll help you on the test because you'll know if I spent more than 3 minutes, you know what, I'm flagging for this for review and I'm coming back to it.
Hmm.
Okay, so let's start. I'm starting the timer. What is the value of 36x minus 8y squared when x is 3 and y is minus 6? And you can use your calculator starting now. And A, B, C, or D, send me your answer in the chat. Now again, I have my phone. This is the timer right here. When you're taking your practice test and you're taking a practice test or GED ready, you should have your phone out. Not during the real exam, you can't do it, but practicing at home, you should know how long each problem is taking you. So right now, 1 minute is up. Okay, Sharon, I have your answer. That is correct. Um, Ms. Douglas, that is correct. So we're just waiting on One last person. That was so both of you answered that question before 1 minute and 30 seconds. So that's great. I think Jarrell must have got kicked off. All right, so we can go ahead. He must have got kicked off. So, all right, let's look at this problem. So both of you were correct. Did either one of you use the calculator? Did either one of you use the calculator?
Nope.
You did? Okay, let's do it by hand. So x is equal to 3, y is minus 6. This is my algebraic expression. Identify your givens. So everywhere I see x, I'm going to put 3. Everywhere I see y, I'm going to put minus 6. So 36 times 3 minus 8. If you notice, this minus 6 is squared. So I'm going to put that minus 6 in parentheses. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Tells me I should do exponent, well, parentheses first. There's nothing in my parentheses I can simplify. I have exponents. So 36 times 3 minus 8 times 36. Remember, minus 6 squared is the same as minus 6 times minus 6. You should know by now 2 negatives equal positive, which is 36. Okay, so I'm going to get 90 and 18, which is 108, minus 240 and 48, which is 288. And then the answer is minus 180. So that's how you do it by hand. What I'm imploring you to do, that if you went through the ebook and know how to use your calculator, this is what so now that took both of you about 1 minute and a minute and 30, right? What I'm suggesting to you is you use the calculator. So again, that took about a minute and 30 seconds. Now, I'm going to start the timer again. So when I clear everything out, I'm going to start the calculator again, and then I'm going to do it with the calculator. So I'm starting my timer. Boom. 3 store X, enter. Minus 6 store Y, enter. 36X minus 8Y squared. I'm done. That took me 11 seconds, 12 seconds. Can you see that?
Yes.
I got the same answer in 12 seconds. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm not saying you have to use the calculator, but if you can, they allow you to use this tool to pass your exam. I suggest you learn how to use it. Okay. So instead of you spending a minute and a half, I spent 15 seconds. Now I got a whole extra minute and 15 seconds now that I can spend on another problem.
Right.
Okay. So those are the advantages of using the calculator. All right, so we got minus 180. Let's go to the next one. And I'm gonna send this link to you so you can actually take this. So you can take this test also if you would like. Let's look at this one. Admin. Who is admin to join us?
That's me. Just me. My phone died, Mr.
Oh,
Tensley.
no problem, no problem. So we go into this third problem. It says Annie is planning a business meeting for her company. She has a budget of $13.25 for renting a meeting room at a local hotel and providing lunch. She expects 26 people to attend the meeting. The cost of renting the meeting room is $270. Which inequality shows how to find the amount X Annie can spend on lunch for each person? I'm starting the timer now. And again, you can send your answer in the chat, A, B, C, or D. Don't get intimidated. Identify your givens. Identify what they want to know. And look at your answers. And you should be able to get the right question, even if you don't even know how to solve an inequality. Okay. See? So we got 2 answers in 1 minute. So we're just waiting on Jarrell. So that's very good. So about a minute, 15 seconds. That's pretty good. Matter of fact, that's really good. But again, I'm gonna stop us at 3 minutes. Okay. So you changed your answer. You changing your answer.
Mm-mm.
So I thought you put B or you put C. What's the answer you want?
I
Okay,
put
so
C.
okay,
Uh-oh.
C. Okay, so we got one answer for B, one answer for C, and we waiting for Jarrell. 2 minutes is now up.
Mr. Tenzi, where can I send my answer again?
In
To
the
the
chat. Oh, well, you the last person. Tell me what you got. A, B, C, or D. You can just tell me.
Just,
The last
I'm gonna go with C.
C. Okay. So we got uh one answer for B, 2 answers for C. Okay. So let's identify our givens. Annie is playing a business meeting for a company. What are our givens? What do we know?
That she got 13.25 to spend, and she
Listen
think
to so she got 13.25 to spend. Listen to what you just said. That means if she has 13.25 to spend, she cannot go over 13.25. Because she can't go over 13.25, just by that one simple fact, what two multiple choice answers can we get rid of?
D and
Oh, why you say D?
well not D, we'll C and A
Why?
because it's giving it's telling us how much she's expecting and
But why can we eliminate A and C just by knowing she has a budget of 13.25? How can we get rid of A and C just by knowing this simple fact that she has a budget of 13.25? How can we eliminate A and C? Anybody?
Is it
This is what
because of the cost, 270?
nope, not has nothing to do with the cost at all. Not yet. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what. So if I have a budget of 13.25, can I spend 13.26?
no.
No. So your answer cannot be greater than 13.25. It must be less than 13.25 because A and C are greater than 13.25. We can get rid of them. Sharon, you were right. Put a text message because it's greater than 13.25. So we know we can't spend more than 13.25. So A and C are eliminated. Again, this is why practicing, doing problems so you can get in a habit. Because a lot of people have issues with that later, less than and less than or equal to and greater than or equal to signs. But by knowing she has a budget of 13.25, whatever my expenses are, whatever it costs me, has to be less than or equal than 13.25. So right away, if you understand that, I just got a 50-50 chance to get this right without even knowing how to solve an inequality. Next step, identify your givens. She expects 26 people to attend the meeting. The cost of renting the room is 270. So is it 270 per person to rent the room, or is the room just cost 270?
The room just cost 270.
So that means that is not changing. That's going to be a constant. It's not variable. It's not based on how many people come. Because if the room was based on how many you come, it would be 270 times 1, 270 times 2. Because we know that, we already know our answer is B without even knowing how to do an inequality. Just by identifying your givens. The budget of 1325, a meeting room is 270. She expects 26 people. So 26x plus 270 has to be less than or equal than 1325. That's just understanding this word problem. But don't get confused by the word problem, but understanding what a budget means. Everybody knows that if you have a budget, you can't spend more than that. So it must cost less than that or equal to that. You can't spend more. That's common sense. We got rid of A and C with that. Then identifying what's constant. Remember, y equal mx plus b. In this case, this is an equation, not an inequality, but this is what's important here. This is your term that's going to change. This is variable. This term is not going to change. It's your constant. The 270 is not going to change no matter how many people come to this lunch. The room costs 270. Another problem you should be able to get. If you don't, make sure you watch this carefully to understand these types of problems. You're
I'm
going
not
to
gonna,
have a problem like this.
I'm not gonna let this discourage me, because I'll be like, man,
Listen, the only thing, listen, let me explain something to
dang,
you. Let me explain something to you, right? No matter who you are, no matter who you are, you're gonna fail. No matter who you are, you're gonna have problems with something. Man, no matter who you are, you're gonna struggle. What you have to decide is what type of person you are. And you got to say, you know what? I'm going to get this. So everybody's pace is different. Some people learn faster, some people learn slower. Don't put that pressure on yourself. You go slow and identify your givens. And understand what less than and greater than mean. Understand why, if my budget is 1325, why the inequality has to be less than or equal to 1325. That's not hard. That's like
that's
if you
true.
go to the supermarket and I got $50, I can't spend more than 50. And
I
what I
just,
spend must be less than or equal to 50.
I just be like, I think my thing is like, I just be reading these problems the wrong way, and I'm not reading them the correct way to
And
get
that's
fine.
fine. That's fine. And that's why, listen, this is why you read a problem. If you get it wrong, you can take it again. Fully understand it. Write down your mistakes. Let's look at this one right here. Again, this is why the practice site that I have is so important because it's going to give you so many problems that you'll get used to the word problems. It don't count. If you get them wrong on my site, it don't matter. You can take it again as many times as you want. Dominic earns 285 per week plus an 8% commission on all his sales. If Dominic sells $4,213 worth of merchandise in 1 week, how much will his total earnings for the week be? I don't like that. Is that grammatically correct? But I don't know. Anyway, let's see if we can find his answer. Dominic, so I'm starting my timer now. I want you to tell me A, B, C, or D. A, B, C, or D. Dominic earns $285 per week plus an 8% commission rate on all his sales. If Dominic sells $4,213 worth of merchandise in 1 week, how much will his total earnings be? So, Sharon, you already answered nice and quickly. I don't know if that's right or wrong. Let's see. That looks about right. And I'm going to show you how to do it manually. I'm going to show you how to use it. Calculator. Then I'm going to show you how to do it common sense. Yes, you are also correct. So we're just waiting on Jarrell. Let's see what you get. So now 1 minute is up. So both of you have already answered this question in less than 1 minute. Again, that's how that we want to get used to answering these questions in less than 3 minutes, because then that's also will identify what areas you need to work on. Because if you need to work on a problem for more than 3 minutes, that gives you two things. I need to work on that concept, and on a real test, I'm gonna flag that type of problem for review and come back to it once I finish. Okay.
Mm.
Okay. So let's see what we got. So first of all, what I would do is this. Okay, I'm gonna show you the common sense way how I would do. I know I make $285 per week, right? So I know these know I make 285 plus 8% commission. How do I find 8% of something? How do I find 8% of something? Does anybody know?
8 divided by 100 or something?
Nope. Definitely not 8 divided by 100. Now that's 8% as a fraction, 8 divided by 100. But what I'm asking you is how do you find 8% of something? Okay, so first of all, we must know that. To find there are several equations you need to know about percents. So first of all, the most important one, percent equal part over whole. There are three different things in this equation, but percent equal part over whole. Your part, remember, if to get part by itself, the opposite of dividing by whole is multiplying by whole. So part equal whole times percent. And then whole, again, to get whole by itself, I divide by percent. So whole equal part divided by percent. So those are the three. Well, it actually is four because you should also know in percent change, but we're not doing percent change right now. So that's the three you should know for right now, plus percent change, right? So if I need to find what 8% is of something, right? I know the percent. They gave it to me. Understand what's given. They gave me the percent. It's 8%. I know it's not this equation that I need to use. So let's do this one. Whole times percent. Oh, that must be it. I know my percent is 8%. I know my whole, which is 4213. So to find 8% of 4,213, I must multiply the whole times the percent. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my calculator. I think it was 4213, right? Yep, 4213. 4213. Now, like you said, Jarrell, you could change it to a decimal, which is 8 over 100 or 0.08. So I could say times 8 over 100. And I get 337 and 4 cents. Or I could take 4213 and times it by 0.08, because if you identify 8 over 100, you should know that's 0.08. Or you could just, with this calculator, you can multiply it by the percentage using the calculator times 8%. Doesn't matter which way you use, but what you have to know is how to find 8% of a number or percent of a number. So to find a part, you multiply the percent times the whole. So we got 337.04. So that's how much I made in commission. But I still make a flat salary of 285 plus 285. 622.04, which is D. Okay. That's how you do that problem. But watch this. I'm going to show you the common sense that you're going to sit here and say, oh my God, why didn't I think of that? Watch. I'm about to show you. I'm about to blow your head right off. Watch this. 8%. I can't do that in my head. but I sure know how to find 10%. And 8% is close to 10%. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move that decimal one place. So 10% is 421.3 plus my 285. So I get 6. Oops, let me do it right. Let me do it right. Let me do it right. Stop playing. Stop doing that, Jeremy. Do it right. 0, 3, 6, 10, 7. So I got 706.30. So 10% would be 760, but there's nothing else even close to that. I know it can't be 513 just because I know 10% is $421. I know 1% is $42. That means I'm going to take that 421, I'm going to subtract about $84 and add that 285. And I also going to get 622 because 337 is too low. That's just my commission. 359 is too close. If I make another $300, it can't be 359. If I add $300 to 285, I'm getting 585. This is too low. Common sense way, D, 622.04. I did that problem in 5 seconds. I looked at the numbers and understood. I know 10% is 421. So I know the answer can't be A or B right out the bat. So then I estimate, okay, about 421 and 300 is 700. I know it can't be 513. The only answer it can be is 622. I'm done. 5 seconds. And the more you can use mental math, and this is why I have a quiz to find 10% of a number. So understand what 10% is. 10% is 10 over 100 or 1 over 10. I'm dividing by 10. So if I'm dividing by 10, so what's 1%? 1% is 1 over 100. I'm dividing by 100. So if I take this 4213, 10% is 421.30. 1% is moving it twice. So I know what 10% is. I can do that in my head. 421. I know what 1% is. 1% is like $40. Well, I need 2%. That's $80. 420 minus 80. Boom. 360. Because remember, I'm estimating. I don't need to know exact because when I look at the multiple choice, they are so far away from each other. I know it can only be 622. So that 420 minus that $80 is going to give me about 360 plus 300. That give me about 660. Now, again, I'm off, but I know it can't be 513, 359, or 337. That's the common sense way. And I'm done and I'm out of there. And I'm done. Now, okay. How would I do it using the calculator? Again, I just showed you. So go in here, grab that calculator. Do it all again. Okay. 4213 times 8% plus 285. 15 seconds, 622.04. I'm done. But you have to understand when to use what. So those 3 equations that I gave you, percent equal part over whole, part equal whole times percent, whole equal part divided by percent. So when you practice those enough, when you see a percent problem on the exam and it's one of those 3, you already know you're ready to go. 622.04. And that's where it comes with practice. Okay. And now, this is actually 7:02, so I guess we're done for the night. I got to call my dad. But again, this is what I want you to do. So, Jarrell, remember you said, do I skip? No. What you want to do is identify area that you need. Work on that. When you score on my practice, on a pre-test or the post-test or whatever test you want to take, you score 75 or above. You don't have to know every single question. You don't have to know every single concept. You need to know enough to pass the GED exam. Now, if you have something next that you have in line, whether it's community college, whether it's a 4-year college, whether it's post-secondary, then what happens is once you got your GED, you go back and use my same course and you know how to fit through these problems without a calculator.
And Mr. Tenzi, I don't be like if I fail like the little prelude quiz the first time, like, I don't want to be having to sit back and try to find. I've been trying to find like the lessons and stuff on this stuff, and
Right.
then like, I just don't want to be taking too much time for me to get it. Like I don't know if it's a
So,
comprehension
so,
thing
so
or what
again,
it is.
start with what you know. Have that formula sheet out. If you're working for area and perimeter, identify on your formula sheet. Listen, you don't have to reinvent the wheel.
But it's so much. Like I mean,
No,
even
it's no,
from
no, it see, you already telling your mind is too much. Look, all you gotta do for any, let me share my screen real quick. I thought I had my screen shared. All you have to do for area and perimeter problem, right, is look at that problem, identify what's given, and go to your formula sheet. They're giving you everything you need. So you need to be able to identify the shapes. Is a square, rectangle, parallelogram, triangle, trapezoid, circle. Perimeter, square, rectangle, triangle, circumference of a circle. That's all you need to be able to do. Identify your given. What's the shape? What are they giving you? And here are all the formulas right here. So when you identify what's given, you plug them into the formula and then solve for the unknown. What happens is if you say, oh my God, I don't know how to do it. Oh my God, I can't. What happens is you're shutting off oxygen to your brain and your mind is saying, don't find an answer. What you have to do, what I'm telling you to do for every problem, read that question, identify what they want to know. So if they say, what is the radius? What is diameter? What is the area? What's the length? What's the width? Identify what they know. Then identify your givens. What are they giving you? So when they give you that shape, you know what formula to use. So if they're giving you a rectangle, length times width. If they're giving you a parallelogram, base times height. If they're giving you a triangle, 1/2 base times height. Then you identify your given. So if they're looking for the area and they give you the base times height, you're plugging them in, base times height. And you're plugging it in the calculator to get solved for A. If they give you the area, you plug it into the formula and solve for the unknown. So again, don't get yourself flustered of what you can't do. So one of the things that gives most people problems is this right here. Watch this. Area equal length times width. Okay, well, if I'm given the area and I'm solving for length, how do I solve for length? We've been doing this. How do I get L by itself? Oh, I need to divide by W. Whatever I do on one side, I do on the other. So A divided by W, the W's cancel here, equal L. So to find the length, I'm using that formula. So if they gave me the area, I'm plugging it in there. If they gave me the width, I'm plugging it in there and I'm putting it in my calculator. Again,
so,
what do they want to know? What are they giving you? What formula do you need to plug in for? And then solve for the unknown. That's it.
so when it comes to other sections and stuff, like percents and inequalities, like I just did trash on these like two or
Nope.
three problems, and it's like when it comes
So,
to these moments, so basically I just need to just
so listen,
my,
listen
my,
to it.
my, my thing is like how long should I practice on each of these modules,
So
even if I like.
listen to what I told you. You are aiming for minimum of 70 to 75%. If you score over 75%, you can go to the next lesson. If you score to 70, 75%, that means you need about one question to be explained to you. Then once you get me to explain to you, you take the test again, you score that over that 75, you move to the next section. Remember, all you need to pass the GED is 58%. This is not grade school where 80 is a B.
I think that where it's like I think I'm in my head because after this I'm like literally jumping right into school for like front end development, and the front end is going straight to back end, and I know
Well,
that like
then if you going straight in, then that means you need to make sure you not do this by hand. So again, go slow then. Now, if you got to get your diploma by a certain amount of time, then that means okay. Well, let me identify what I need the most. Okay.
so how do I not stay too long on what that I
Well, I
identify that I
already
need to
told
know.
you. If you look in the ebook, I tell you how many questions you can expect for each concept. I
So
already
so
told you. So if you look
so
in the ebook, I start off each section by telling you you can expect this many questions from this area. So area and perimeter is probably 2, 3 at the most. Volume 1 or 2 at the most.
what about
Linear,
graphing?
you won't have to graph, but graphing is part of linear equations. Linear equations are going to be 7 to 10 problems. So if you're going to pass this exam, you must know linear equations. If you don't, you probably won't pass. So that's an area you put extra time in. If you're going to put time in somewhere, it's that algebra, which is linear equations, right? Because you can figure out area and perimeter. Like, for example, let me just give you a quick example, right? For example, if it said perimeter is 56 meters, and the width is 12 meters. What's the length in the area? Okay, so A, B, C, D. Okay, so I got. So let's do 10, 12, 16. Hold on. Oops. Yeah, that's right. That's right. And 18. Right? I don't need to know the algebra. All I need to know is perimeter equal 2 length plus 2W. So I know the width is 24. So perimeter equal 2L plus 24. Well, I know the perimeter is 56. So 56 minus 24 is 32. You should know that opposite sides of a rectangle are equal. So I'm dividing this by 2. 16. That's no algebra at all. That's just knowing that perimeters, the distance around, and opposite sides are equal. So right away, what I'm doing is 56 minus 24. I'm left with 32. That 32 needs to be divided up to 2 sides. So I'll divide that by 2. I got 16. I'm done. So I know my length is 16. How do I find my area? 12 times 16. That's not a hard problem. You're getting lost in what you're doing. Don't get lost in what you're doing. Identify what you know. So if you got multiple choice, plug the answers in. So for example, let me say you had your whiteboard out. Let me clear all this out. Watch this. And again, this is where you have to say, is it worth spending 2 weeks on this? Or if they give me the multiple choice, can I figure this out? So 10, 12, 16, and 18 with my multiple choice. Let me write that over 10, 12, 16, 18.
What about them? What about them? I mean, what about them Jones when you don't get multiple choice? You gotta answer the question. What about them Jones?
So again, you're not listening to what I'm telling you. Listen to them tell you. 10, 12, 16, 20. Listen to what I'm telling you. You only need 58%. It's a little bit more than half. You're getting, see, in your mind, you're thinking you got to get every concept and know it.
Cool.
You can skip up to 14 problems. So what I'm telling you, area and perimeter for a rectangle, area and perimeter circle are guaranteed. Make sure you got them. So watch this. So if I draw this and I got 12 here and 12 here, if I put 10 here and 10 here, 10, 12, 24, 34, 44, it's not 10. Okay, let's try 12. 12, 12, 12, 12 is 48. It can't be 12. I'm going to put 16 here. 16, 16, 28. 28 and 20 is 56. Ding, 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 ding. I'm done. You don't even have to do it algebraically. Start with what you know. If you got to draw a diagram of a rectangle and fill each answer in till you get it, that's what you do. But then connect it to the algebra. So if you got to plug it in and understand what's given, since you know the answer, then say, you know what? Let me go back and figure out the algebra. Let me identify the givens. Let me plug it in. Let me solve for the unknown. But listen, getting an answer wrong, it's not what's going to cause you from not passing. Oh, Mr. Tensley, you're not right. Listen, you're going to get a whole lot wrong. You only need 58%. So that means 42% of the test you could possibly get wrong and still pass. You don't get yourself all flustered about the ones you can't do. In the ebook, I'm telling you what questions you need. On the practice exams, I'm giving you the problems that's similar to the problems you're going to get. You're going to see enough word problems that if you do them enough, when you get to that test, you're going to be ready. All right?
So should I just like move on to the next module? Should I just like
What did you score on the pre-post test? Did you score 70 or above?
man, me, man, I was like, man, I ain't even take the pre-post test. I was like, I just went straight to the
That,
lesson.
see, listen, what I want you to
You
do
right, you right, you
is
right.
take the pre-test first. See what you know and you don't know.
You right. I was just like, man, every time I just, I've been failing, I've just been getting discouraged a little bit, G. You know what I'm saying? For them,
Let me tell you something.
like, dang, so,
Life is full of disappointments, buddy. You're gonna fail a
dang.
whole lot of things. Let me tell you something about that. So when you got turned down for an interview or you didn't get a job, did you stop looking for a job?
No, I had to go find another job.
So
It wasn't a job I
so
wanted.
you got over it quickly though, didn't you? You got over that discouragement and he said, you know what? I got to do something else. So one thing you had to do, you said, okay, let me update my resume. Let me get some more training or let me work on my interview skills. You took that where you didn't get that job and you said, why didn't I get it? Let me work on those skills so the next time I interview or the next time I go for a job like that, I'm ready. It's not about failing. Everybody in this life is going to fail. It's how you respond when you fail, when you fall down, when your back is up against the wall. You think I ain't failed the exam before? Nobody wakes up and knows everything. So what you're going to prove to yourself that when you work hard to get this and pass your exam, there's no other feeling in the world. You're going to be so exhilarated. You're going to be like, oh my goodness, I got it. But what happens is you got to fight the battle right now. So when you're discouraged and you're upset and you feel like quitting, you're going to say, you know what? I need my diploma. I want that better job. So whatever your motivation is, I don't care if it's your child, I don't care if it's a job, I don't care if it's a promotion, I don't care if it's your girlfriend, I don't care if it's your wife, whatever your motivation is, put on your phone somewhere close to you. So when you feel discouraged, you look at it. So you can get excited again, so you get motivated again on why you're doing it. All right. So listen, we're gonna cut it out tonight.
Yes,
I'll
sir.
see you
All right,
next Monday.
y'all.
Remember, if you have any questions or you get stuck on a problem, shoot me a text, take a picture, shoot it to me. I'll help you out. I'll call you and help you through it.
Appreciate you,
Thank
Mr.
you, Mr. Tinsley.
Y'all have a wonderful night.
You too, sir.
Bye-bye.